Well, I just needed to lay down a minute and rest my head, rest my wearied head for a minute. And I was just thinking while I was there resting, there's stock buybacks. You know about these things that happen occasionally. I was thinking, okay, there's Epstein thing that happened, and Musk is in it. There was this thing about this part of Musk in it with him and Tallulah going to the island. No, Tallulah won't be a problem. I don't know if Tallulah's a wife, but basically, my whole thing that I want to just mention before I do any other part of this video. I'll take all of this for what it's worth. I don't like doing research. I'm gonna say this all the time. I don't like doing research. So if I ever do research, whatever, grain of salt. Yummy. I think Musk has been married and divorced several times. So I wonder if he, like before he's going to get divorced, he takes some of his private stock, sells it off, gets money, and then divorces and then gives his wife money, just money instead of stock, because that sounds like a reasonable thing to do. If you're someone, I give them stock. Why give your wife that you're gonna be like, fuck you, bitch, part of your company when you can give money? That may be worth nothing later on. Could be worth more, but maybe worth whatever. For the point of this, give them money. Then, later on, there's this there's these stock buybacks where every company does stock buybacks. Every company does them, but maybe he doesn't too. So I don't know. Someone else can look through records and see if anything like that ever happened at any of Musk's companies. And look at the timestamps, the dates. Let's see if any of that matches up. Because that seems like a lot more work than I care to do. If you give a crap about it. It's a random thought that I had. And there we go. World. I'm watching Secular Talk with Kyle Kalinske. This is broadcast. And like I said, I was just like, for a second there, I was just like, wow, I'm really tired. I gotta like lay down and maybe take a nap. I don't know. Something kicked in radically. I don't know if I ate something before this banana and it just like carbified me out or something, but whatever. Now I'm fine. Okay, so this has been bugging me for a while, and I actually looked it up just now. I think I learned something. Again, don't quote me on this because whatever. But Kyle Kalinske keeps um, beating Trump over this whole Trump says Somalian, and Kyle Kalinske says no, they're Somali. I think the problem here is that Somalians are from the country of Somalia, and Somali are the ethnic group that encompasses more than the country of Somalia. It's multiple countries. It was, quote, the Horn of Africa. So I think there's a subtle distinction there, which no one is expecting Trump to understand, by the way. And of course, no one's expecting this guy to understand, because why the fuck would I care? They're Africans. Blacks are blacks, and Mexicans are Mexicans, and most Asians are Asians. And most whiteys are whiteys, as far as I know most of the time. That is, of course, unless you're a Jew. I mean, unless you're you. Yeah, I cleaned that one up pretty good, didn't I? All right, to be continued. Yeah, now in this Trump keeps saying he'll steal the election video by Kyle Kalinske. He plays this excerpt where Trump said he wants to nationalize the vote, which, okay, that's the first time I heard anyone say that, but so I don't really know what that means exactly, but that's okay. I'm guessing that means federalized National Guards at every voting and polling booth, and then they take the votes to like a federal building and count them with people that are explicitly chosen by the Trump administration or something like that, and then they'd be like, okay, these are the numbers we came out, 100% Trump. And it's like, really? That's what you're suggesting we do? Because, like, seriously, if you do that shit, like, if you do some shit like that, I don't think even the dumbest guy in the bar is going to be like, that was a free and fair election. Everybody voted for him. Damn. Okay, let me say this. And now he's going on. Now Kyle is going on the. Trump is radically obsessed with the 2020 election, and he keeps going on about the 2020 election. Let me just relay something personal. My dad. I was taking care of my dad before I moved down to Wisconsin, moved to Arkansas, moved to here. When I finally moved out of Wisconsin, he sold the house. We got rid of everything, and he moved into a home. My dad had a whole bunch of wooden planes that he made throughout his adult life. Because he was a woodworker, carpenter, woodsmith, whatever you call. And during the end period, during that last year I was there, living with him, sort of taking care of him, like helping him get around and stuff, driving him around, basically. I had a friend living there with me, and then that friend, because we sold the house and my dad went in the nursing house, my friend had to go too, because I left. The house was sold and everything fine, but from that point on, until my dad died, anytime I talked to my dad, my friend would, my dad would go on about that friend stole one of his airplanes. And he would say that to me, he would say that to my sister, he'd say that to one of my aunts, both of my aunts. He would always be on that friend stealing one of his airplanes. No matter what he'd forget, as his, dementia basically got progressively worse and worse, that was the one thing that he remembered. That my friend stole an airplane. That none of us could ever confirm. And I'm pretty damn sure he didn't. Because he asked me multiple times, can I take that one? Can I take that one? Can I take that one? I'm like, no. You can't take any. You can't take anything. He's like, oh, okay, well, whatever. And I gave him one of these wooden cups that my dad made like 15 of. I gave him one of those because he really liked them. I told my dad that. So I guess somehow maybe he thinks, oh, well, he took that. He must have taken that. And he, I don't know, didn't like that my friend was there too or something. I don't know. It's just somehow in his brain, my friend stole that plane. Because he had all these planes with him in the nursing home. But I guess somehow that one didn't get there. But there were a couple planes throughout the years that he did sell. Maybe that was one that he sold and he just didn't remember that he sold it. But somehow he remembers that it got stolen by my friend. And so there's that story. And now we have Trump. I won all these states. By all this, by so much. I won it by so much. But, they stole it. They stole the election. They stole it by so much. But I won it by so much. And everybody knows this. We know it, Dad. We do. We really, really do. Now sit down. I'm going to wheel you over by the window and watch the birds. There's good birds. There's the blue one. There's the red one. They're at the feeder. Go watch them. Okay, the next video that I'm watching is the 23 concentration camps being built. And I just want to say that in the town I'm in, Trinity, there's Texas Highway 19 that goes right by where I am and right through the town of Trinity. And when I'm walking to the store and back, a lot of times, I see a big truck carrying a wide load thing that has something that's like, it's just like, it's like a part of it. I'm just like, that's a part of a building or something. And I'm just like, what are you building and where are you building it? And it was just like, I haven't lived here my entire life, so, you know, whatever, but I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe a Texan can, if I ever needed, like, you know, not just any amount of people to be, you know, to ask, just like, is this something that's always been? Like, do they just haul big shit through here? Like, because it is possible that they just have always hauled big shit through here because, you know, you can't do it on, like, I don't know why you wouldn't be able to do it on the freeway. Maybe it jams up shit. But it's like, if you wanted to build Dachau or Auschwitz, I haven't driven across Texas many times, but I've driven across Texas like twice, and it would be a great place to build one of those things. There's a lot of empty space in Texas to build one of those things. That's all I'm saying. I said it before and I'll say it again. A lot of empty space to build one of those motherfuckers. Or just holding centers. If you just want to deport them, just, you know, regular old holding centers. And hold them in shitty conditions because, you know, you're cheap and you don't want to pay for good conditions. To be continued. He just showed a clip of, there were two ice guys in a shop, auto shop, and they were like, it was an exchange between the ice guys and the person there saying, where's your warrant? Where's your warrant? And the two guys were like, we don't need one. At that point, I would assume why doesn't the person just call the police? Just pick up her cell phone, dial 911 and be like, there's two guys in here with a gun. Send the police. Seems like that's all you need to do right there. If they're not going to give you a warrant, then, I mean, yip-de-doo. Call the police, have the police come there. Let actual law enforcement resolve the situation for you. I mean, there you go. So here's the map up of all of the proposed warehouse to detention facility conversion things. And I don't know. I don't know if that's supposed to be for current detainees or what. And I don't know if ICE is like planning another big hiring surge. Um, Something I was thinking about before the last time I was taking a dump on the toilet is anyone in the southern states or any other state that hasn't been really hit by ICE has to know that this kind of thing is coming to you eventually until this kind of thing is stopped. And I'm also a little worried about. I have been ever since maybe month three, 2 or 3 of the Trump administration. Have been a little worried about myself and other disabled people, quite frankly, because disabled people are an expense on the expense side of the, you know, basically the budget of the, you know, Republican way of looking at the budget. You know, it costs stuff. Let's get rid of cost. Disabled people don't produce anything. They just cost stuff. Let's throw in the grinder. Yeah. So I gotta pee. Uh, and the next segment is him talking about something about. It's another segment about Gaza. Something about cables that weren't sent up the Biden chain. About really early on in the conflict, about how shitty it actually was. And he's not like, oh, Biden is absolved of this. No. It's nothing like that. It's just like, yeah. And me personally, I'm worn out about all these stories about Gaza. I'm just like, yeah, I know, it's bad. Yeah, it's really bad. By the way, did you know this is the first time shit was going fucked up in the Middle East? Because it's been peaceful for the past 5,000 years. And so has the rest of the earth, by the way. This is something totally new in humanity's history. I mean, come on, guys. Man, there's nothing else was going on, but it's just like, Gaza. I don't even know what to say about that other than like, because I looked at Gaza. I mean, many times I've looked at like that map of like Israel, and then there's like Gaza, like right little teeny weeny bit there, and then there's like the what's that all about that other part where Israeli Jews just like settle there and then be like, oh, you're a Palestinian and this is your house. You should just go. And it's my house now. It's like, that's kind of messed up. They call them settlers, and it's just like, oh, that's a nice house. It's mine. It's kind of fucked up. But, the West Bank, that's what it's called. I don't know how any Israeli lives in Israel and expects not to have bombs and rockets hurled at them with what they're going on, with what's going on there. Why are they bombing us? Why are they throwing rocks and grenades at us and stuff? This doesn't make any sense. Really? But that's just me. Maybe you expect them to send thank you cards. Thank you for taking everything I've ever worked for. It was lovely. Why didn't you do it sooner? But whatever. This is a white person with white ancestors saying that. So, anyhow, next video. Watching the Skynet is here segment. Kyle Kalinski's thing. I really don't like watching a lot of too many AI things because they're just, they range from the completely meaningless to watch to the genuinely freaky and oh my god, this might actually be, yeah. Well, it's just like, I don't want that in my life. You know, I get enough reasons to, be freaked out. I don't need, I don't need that on top of everything else. No. I already lived with the shadow of the Cold War, of nuclear apocalypse. I don't need something else. The ghost of the shadow of the Cold War kind of thing. I don't need that. I really don't. I need someone telling me that, because I have a different theory about AI. But whatever. I have a different take. Next segment, maybe final segment. Trump charts on TV. Apparently, though, there's multiple clips of this phenomena of Trump crapping on TV, on video. And one guy said, well, that's because basically Trump eats McDonald's and meatloaf and a certain kind of food that is, okay, I can tell you, I can attest to this. I don't have any teeth. So food that does not have fiber, right? If you eat food, a low, very, very, very low fiber / no fiber diet, there's not going to be basically diarrhea. you're going to have to be very aware, in tune with your body. All right. And I think it has caught me off guard twice. So, since I had my teeth pulled, because it's very hard for me to get fiber without teeth. You know, as far as I know, Trump has teeth, but yeah, you don't have teeth and you don't have dentures, because I don't have dentures either. There's videos about that, and I don't take like Metamucil. There's a whole, it's nuanced. But also, apparently, Trump does a lot of speed, and this guy there said, you don't get a lot of fiber, you don't eat healthy, and you do speed, you know, you got to wear insurance, which depends. But it seemed like in one of those clips, he was just like, fuck it. And there was a comment in on that clip that said, I've heard this referred to as the shark of the deal. And I was just like, that might not be that bad of an idea. If you're in a negotiation. Who knows? You pay for it afterwards, but shit, if you're closing a deal, you're closing the deal. It's worth it. Anyways, yeah, little price to pay for, you know, closing a deal as a businessman. Hopefully you don't get a reputation that, what's it called? Blackballs you? Blacklist. That's what it's called, blacklist. Yep, that was the last one. Good, I'm glad. 30 plus minutes. That was way too long. Oh, wow. Tax rich, he kept the rich and the bobulations to all.